Okay, I'm back, everybody. Yes, it's me. I have returned. And this time I'm going to go ahead and do a show. Because I want to do a live stream that's going to be entertaining and a little bit more bad this time. Even though, yes, the BS show is back online. Considering months and months of people not caring and not giving a shit about this show, I might as well just do some stuff that you'll probably find entertaining, because this time I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some clips from something that was brought up to my attention from Clownfish TV, which I recommend you subscribe to them because they had some reasonable stuff to talk about on their show. So I borrowed some stuff from their show and decided to do a little bit of showing off what was going on. Even though I don't have the audio for this one, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what they have right now. Now let's see if I can put this in there. I don't know if it's going to work or not. Alright, here we go. I don't know if it's going to work. Let me see if this works, because I don't know what's going on. Now you can see here, this is the clips from,
that was a lot stronger than I
the
thought.
new show that's going to be on Netflix, which is the She-Ra cartoon. As you can see, it's kind of
Why are you doing
a short
this?
clip that DreamWorks is now showing. And you can see right here that this is not no Filmation version of this. This is very much the
or do I need to zap you again?
DreamWorks version of it. As you can see, the animation isn't that bad. It's just sort of funny. But the weird thing about it is that the voice acting and everything is kind of off.
Watch out!
And you can tell by it, it's sort of weird how they made this show. Now, I don't think it's a really bad show, but the premise of this series, it does seem like it's okay. But at the same time, you know, you can tell by the art style and everything
Why did you save
that
me?
they kind of
We need She-Ra.
weren't expecting a lot of it, because I could see that they were budgeting everything in this animation to make it look good, but at the same time, you know, there was some mistakes that they did,
You're not any of those
especially
things.
the
I'm
anatomy and
Horde soldier.
everything.
How do you know you can trust
And I was
me
just
now?
watching this wondering what
I
the
don't.
heck were they
But I
thinking
hope
when
I
they
can.
brought this show
I feel like
to life,
maybe
when
you're
they
here
made
to
this
help
show.
us.
You can tell that they had some experience doing the animation and everything, and you can tell that they borrowed some elements from other cartoon shows, and it sort of does make a lot of sense, especially, you know, I look at this, did the animators and generator Rex made this and then borrowed some animation styles from other cartoon shows to make it really look good? I really don't know, because the animation style, you can tell that they borrowed some elements from Sailor Moon and other shows, especially the transformation. And I thought it was hilarious, though. But you can tell that they actually did a really okay job, somewhat. But at the same time, you know, people are kind of skeptical, especially with the voice acting. It's a bit annoying and a bit crazy, and I can understand that they did this show with good intentions, but at the same time, you know, this show was kind of weird, because it kind of had that, because I remember the original She-Ra. The original She-Ra wasn't like, they didn't go all spurginess of it when they do the show. They were more calm and cool about it. And you can tell in this animation that there were a lot of mistakes that they made, especially when you look at the quality of the armor and everything in the show. It's like the legs were off, and the arms right there were kind of like, what the hell? I think the show does seem to have a really good chance of being entertaining, but I don't know. A lot of people think that this show might not do well.
Catra?
But you never know, because I think that this would probably work out for them. Considering that this show is coming out soon on Netflix, and a lot of people are kind kind of skeptical about it.
Oh
Now,
man, that was a lot
I'm gonna
stronger
try to
than I
go
thought.
with the next one
Are you
here
okay?
and see if I can get the other
Ketra?
quest here that I need
Sorry,
to
it was a reflex.
see here.
Why
I
are
gotta
you
shuffle
doing
the
this?
playlist here, guys. I'm sorry. Now, that show kind of did surprise me in a way. It wasn't really great at all. It just seems kind of cheesy in a way. Because I saw the voice acting and everything, and I'm just like, what the hell is this? And I'm not going to try to, you know, say anything that that happens to be on the show. Now, there has been some talks about this show, especially on Clownfish, and I had to agree with them on this, that the animation and the art style was kind of a little bit tacky, but a little bit okay. But at the same time, you know, I'm not going to try to, you know, hate on them or anything like that, because I understand that the show was meant to entertain children, and this is something that they're trying to do. The thing is, you know, I really think the whole drama around this show, it just, you know, was ridiculous. But unfortunately, it was truthful and a little bit, not really harmful, but the criticism seems legit about this show. Because a lot of people were kind of worried that they were going to use Steven Universe jokes and everything. And it kind of gets to the point that a lot of people didn't really like what was going on. Especially, you know, looking at the drama that's going on. A lot of people are talking about some other things that were happening on the whole situation. There was some drama that I heard from the whole situation with Blizzard announcing their phone game. Sorry if I mispronounced this. A lot of people were talking about that too. And I know that I can't get anybody on because I know they're probably too busy or not talking. I'm just going to do this show on my own because fuck it, the show must go on. I wanted to do this show just for the shits and giggles of it and see how it is. I know that most people, you know, are not going to be entertained by this, but I thought it was kind of interesting to talk about this because, oh yeah, heads up, we detected a copyright of audio and video in your stream. Your stream may be temporarily blocked. I know. So, I'm going to go ahead and play some audio clips and see what's going on with what's going on with everyone's reaction to Blizzard, because I had to talk about Blizzard for a lot of reasons. A lot of people have been talking about this for a while, and I understand there was a problem with Blizzard talking about this. Now, there is some opinions that I'm going to go ahead and make about what was going on with Blizzard. And to be honest with you guys, I didn't realize until I found out that this whole thing, and I actually had to do some research on this, is that the only reason why, because I actually did some research on NetEase, and NetEase turns out, in North America, they were originally the people who actually helped Blizzard get their game World of Warcraft and help provide servers in China. Now, I looked into the whole NetEase thing, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the website and everything. I don't know if my quality is going to work. Now, NetEase basically explained it on their website, that because the reason why the developers that are making the phone app are these people. Now, NetEase explained that NetEase Games, a division of NetEase headquarters in Guangzhou, China, founded in 2001, with the goal of becoming the top global publisher and developer. Over the years, our love of games translated to success. developing and releasing mega hit mobile products like Fantasy Westward Journey, partnering in 2008 to Blizzard's games and working with Mojang to launch Minecraft Pocket Edition in Asia, really put NetEase on the map. They also provided servers for World of Warcraft, and also, you know, help them censor a bunch of games. Now, go figure, right? Now, there's been a lot of talk about this because there's a lot of resentment towards this company for a lot of reasons. And I'm not trying to, you know, hate on them or anything like that. I understand that they want to, you know, build their business in North America and try to slowly, you know, come in and become another business in America. Now, the thing about it is that they also said a year after, since the company had continued to release successful mobile products, today NetEase Games ranked at number 3 on Apps Annie's annual list of top 52 highest earnings publishers in the world for ISOs and Google Play stores in 2016. Now, it took them several years to do this. To continue the march to success, NetEase established a North America studio in 2014. NetEase North America is committed to hiring the best talent out there to uphold quality entertainment. NetEase China has become famous for, we bring together ambitious groups of engineers, artists, designers, and analysts, and communication experts to leverage their experts to create an immersive, interactive experience. For us, they are not just games, nor they are simply products, a business or a job. Games are our passion. Our aim is to give something great to gamers worldwide. For we are players ourselves, and we hope that comes across in every way we do. Now, this company seems like a reasonable company, but they're from China, mind you. And a lot of people have not talked about this and not bothered to look at NetEase, because considering that NetEase has a really big earnings. Now, I looked up NetEase, the company itself, and their key financials and everything. A lot of people talked about this company for a lot of reasons. Now, we had to look up NetEase and see what they were trying to do. Fortcraft. Yeah, Chinese download. Let's see what else they have. Yeah, because NetEase is really a really popular. Let's see if we could, because I might have accidentally. Now, you can see right here, their stocks are pretty bad in the NASDAQ in North America. And ever since the announcement of World of Warcraft, they're losing money from that announcement from World of Warcraft, because it really hit them hard, and I kind of feel bad for them, considering that what happened with that whole situation with Blizzard, because of the whole backfired of NetEase. Now, I don't really think that this was a bad thing, but PR wise, it was a really bad situation for Blizzard, because thanks to an idiot who basically was blaming it on the game community. It's a lot of people, you know, was like, I don't really give a shit, fuck you, and that was pretty much what happened. Now, NetEase, the company itself that is developing the game and also helped get Blizzard to get their foot in the door. Right now, you know, I can understand what's going on here, because a lot of the fact is that NetEase helped get the foot in the door into China for Blizzard, and that game kind of got popular over the years through means that they wanted to help NetEase get their foot in the door in America. Now, I can understand that some of you guys may not realize this, but both those companies have a partnership and a relationship that is possible that they wanted to help each other out. Since NetEase actually did help Blizzard get their foot in the door in China in order to successfully secure servers there, NetEase actually helped provided and published their games in China. Same with Overwatch, Diablo, and other games. Now I can understand that the resentment towards this game because the idea of it being a mobile app game, and I can understand that some people may not find the love for that. I get it, because I can understand, but this is something that Blizzard's trying to do business-wise. They're trying to help another business get their foot in the door in the gaming industry in order to help them, secure businesses, secure like contacts and all that other stuff for the sake, because they actually did help put their foot in the door into China and actually, help them, gain a foothold on their MMOs that are very popular in China. Now, I get that most people may not like what I'm saying here, but this is the truth of the matter. Because like NetEase said, they helped release. They helped, like they said right here, according to their background, because a lot of people pointed this out to me when they said this. NetEase actually did help bring World of Warcraft and Minecraft to China, and brought out Minecraft Pocket Edition, and I know some people do play Pocket Edition of Minecraft. Now this is something that most people don't realize. This is something that I believe that's what Blizzard was trying to do. They let NetEase, since they had experience and everything. I think they actually did explain some of it. Let's watch their video and see what's going on here.
NetEase was founded in 1997 with email and news services as its initial products, and later established the online game department in 2001. Listed on NASDAQ in 2000, NetEase achieved total revenues of $3.5 billion in 2015 and was selected as the top stock choice of the year by Investors Business Daily, IBD. In January 2016, NetEase Games has produced some of the most popular games in China. The Fantasy Westward Journey and Westward Journey online series on PC and mobile have hugely influenced China's online games market, and their phenomenal long-running performance has awarded them the status of NetEase's flagship games. In January 2016, Fantasy Westward Journey on mobile hit the #3 place on Worldwide App Annie Index. Lunar Flowers, Battle to the West 2 received numerous accolades and were officially named as the best games of 2015 by Apple's App Store and Google Play in Hong Kong and Taiwan. Moreover, NetEase Games is the exclusive publisher for all Blizzard Entertainment games in mainland China. NetEase Games has published over 100 games on PC and mobile so far. As the top...
Now you see, they actually helped publish Blizzard games such as World of Warcraft and also Overwatch and also Diablo 3 and other games, and that's how they got their foothold in China to get those games in with the help of NetEase. Now NetEase actually did help them, and Blizzard right now is doing them a favor by putting their foot in the door by helping them develop a game on the phone. Now you have to understand that this is something that was pointed out, and I actually had to agree with this person on this whole thing, that this is a trade-off of what they're trying to offer here. they want to publish this game, and they're moving forward regardless of what you think, because business-wise, they actually did Blizzard a favor by putting their foot in the door into China to get a lot of business there. And that's how it's going to work for them. That's how it looks like. Now, I may not be a business analyst or anything like that, but that's how I see it right now, because this is what Blizzard is doing. They are moving forward in order to help NetEase, who actually helped them get their feet wet in China, to help them set foot into America so that they can publish their games that they have on and put them on the App Store in America. Now, you have to understand that this is a big, thing for them, because they are a partnership, and they wanted to help each other out. Since NetEase actually did help them get their business in China, they want them to set foot. Blizzard wants them to set foot into America so that they can get their mobile games out there. It's a really, trade-off right there that's pretty good. But at the same time, I can understand that some people oppose the idea of this game being on a mobile app. Now, let's continue listening to their thing.
In China, NetEase Games promises to deliver the best gaming experience to the world.
Okay. Now, this is pretty much what's going on right now. And I know that most people probably don't like what I'm saying about this, but that's what Blizzard's trying to do. And I know that some people, don't like what I have to say about it, but this is the honest truth of the matter. Business-wise, without NetEase's help, they wouldn't get their games to China, to the masses of people who live in China. Now, World of Warcraft is somewhat popular among the Chinese gamers, and it is a really big deal down there, especially League of Legends and other games. From what I heard, and I actually had to watch this video, it turns out League of Legends is not that very popular in Japan, from what I heard. From other sources that I watched a video about, and they explained a lot of the issues that were going on. And right now, they're trying to get people to play this game, and it's kind of weird, though. And the marketing strategy for League of Legends is no joke. It's really that bad. Now, let's see what we got here. Now, let me go ahead and do something. Alright. Let's see. Yeah. So, I'm just going to keep this a bit short, because this is what's going to go on. A lot of people are talking about this whole issue with Comicsgate, which I'm going to go ahead and talk about for a bit. And I'm going to say this right now, it's really stupid in what's going on, especially listening to the side of the story of CC and everyone else. I kind of do feel bad for everybody out there who put a lot of money into this whole situation on cash grab. And it was sort of funny. This comic book was going to come out soon, and a lot of people got ripped off, felt ripped off after what happened. Now, this whole situation is kind of sad, but I'm just going to go ahead and talk about this and talk about what's really crazy about this. Now, do I think that this is going to be a really good idea? I don't know. Do I think what happened was kind of stupid? Yes. It was stupid. Now, a lot of the drama that's going on around the whole thing with Andy Worski and other people, it's sort of ridiculous. I stopped paying attention a long time ago, and I really felt that this whole thing turned into a big mess. Now, a lot of people talked about it and felt that it was stupid. Now, especially, watching Boober talk about this whole situation with Andy, and it's like, it got to the point, it's really bad. There's been, like, Bobby Burns, there was a lot of things with Ralph. What happened to Ralph was kind of ridiculous, because I don't think Ralph should have been banned from his Killstream show, but YouTube decided to do this because, these people are posting white nationalist stuff, but yet it was donated to charity. Even PewDiePie pointed this out, that all the stuff that they said on a freaking super chat, they think that they can take it seriously, and it sort of is stupid, especially hearing from a lot of people about the whole situation. Let's see here. Let's see if I could find these videos, because I know that T-Clips actually had some recordings and what happened.
Made many mistakes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play that.
Next news story. Popular YouTube host
Who is
accuses
that
Wall
handsome
Street
gentleman?
Journal of canceling over $26,000 in donation funds. Wall Street Journal! Back at it again. This was in regards with their late night live stream, the Ralph Retort Kill stream. They get about 8,000 viewers. A lot of times they bring in very controversial guests like Richard Spencer, and they bring them on to debate extremist views. I think. Okay, I haven't watched any of these, and now the channel is gone, so I can't really say, but this is what I've gathered. The whole idea is that
I think
it's
you might have
free
seen this
speech,
one
and
before.
you should be allowed to debate these things. That's what I've gathered.
I think he's in the chat right now.
What I do know is that they are
PewDiePie
more
in the
than just
chat.
those type of things. They do positive things, like they help break some of the news with the BetterHelp drama. They were the ones that figured out that YouTubers were paid $200 per sign up, which was a key part of that whole story. Now, putting the Ralph Retort on the side for a minute, just so we can talk about YouTube Super Chat. Now, YouTube Super Chat is something that's been under fire by the media for quite a while now. BuzzFeed News posted in 17th of May, a while ago, how YouTube Super Chat system is pushing video creators towards more extreme content. For those of you who don't know, Super Chat is a way to donate during a live stream, so a text appears on the live stream to support the creator and giving them a message for the whole live stream. Now, some people take to this feature and put out offensive, heinous shit. That's the only way I can put it. Things saying like white pride worldwide while donating $100. Now, YouTube's response to this after this article was that they reviewed these live streams. This was not the Ralph Retort. There was another live stream. This is a common concept, I think, not just on YouTube, but on Twitch itself, where people write offensive things as a kind of a joke to get donations. And YouTube said, we carefully reviewed the live streams that were provided by BuzzFeed and found that the content does not meet our threshold for hate speech. However, we found that the comments shared in Super Chat do. So basically, the live stream themselves weren't bad, but the comments were. Then, a few weeks later, we find out that YouTube changed the system so that if a user is caught sending Super Chats, the revenue received will be donated to a charity instead of being split between YouTube and the channel's creator. Now, a lot of people were upset about this, saying, why should I have to suffer because someone wrote an offensive message? But the problem with this is that YouTube takes 30% of the Super Chats. So it's their service. And if they get caught taking money from these type of messages, it doesn't look good for YouTube. So in a way, I feel like this is a valid response. they clearly have already some system in place so that people can't make these donations to begin with, but somehow they slip through. And that's kind of part of the game with these donations, is what kind of message can we put up there that passes through the system, you know? Where have we heard that someone pull that joke before? I have no idea. Why would anyone try and test a system of what's the most offensive thing you could put out there just for the sake of comedy? I mean, how could anyone think so? Now, a lot of this stems from a report that I reported on. I mean, yeah, a few weeks ago on Punis. I don't know if you guys remember this Data Society Alternative Influence report that basically grouped in everyone that's ever collabed together on YouTube. Unironically, drawing lines that weren't even correct as well. Trying to pin it, this is how the right-wing extremists work on, operate on YouTube, because they collaborate, that's right. They make debates, everybody. I know, it's pretty shocking. And the response from the media of this was, YouTube's alternative influence network breeds right-wing radicalization, report finds. What? Which is clearly just false. I mean, I don't know how this report proves this, because it clearly didn't. Now, a lot of these messages, they're offensive. They are made to be shocking. And the donation is a way to kind of justify it. I mean, this is just me explaining it to an adult that doesn't understand, or someone that doesn't understand the internet, I would say, or the culture on the internet. However, some donations probably are real. I mean, I can't say that every single offensive donation isn't inherently racist. They could be. Like I said, if YouTube takes 30% of that, either way, it doesn't look good for them. They want to avoid an adpocalypse. Which is ironic because Super Chat seemed like the thing that could help creators from the adpocalypse as an alternative way to earn revenue. And here we are again, everybody. Now, back to the Ralph retort. Like I said, I don't know much about it.
That guy is based in Red Pill.
People on there. I know they debate pretty insane things, but I also know that they do good things as well. They did this charity live stream where they raised $26,000 for St. Jude's Hospital, which is to help kids with cancer. So, you know, it's something positive at least. But the problem with this is that with Super Chats, you don't get paid immediately from YouTube. I think it takes about a month or so. So in between all this happening, Wall Street Journal was peeking around to write a story about this whole thing. Voila, about a month later, it appeared that everyone that donated to this live stream, the $26,000 that was made for charity, it was made to help
Did he say St.
suffering
Jude's?
with cancer. All the donations were canceled. They were not donated away like YouTube said. They were just put back, basically saying, we don't want them. And then following that, the article came out from Wall Street Journal saying hate speech on live Super Chat tests YouTube.
Who is that Frenchman?
Well, true to say the least. They talk about these offensive messages. And it also mentioned that St. Jude apparently arranged to return these donations in September. They added this feature in Super Chat where if offensive messages goes through, they would give it to charity. So now that they get offensive messages getting through for charity, they don't give the money that was supposed to go to charity for charity. They just delete it. They just say refund. Why? That makes no sense. Just take the money. St. Jude, take the money. It's 8 weeks of chemotherapy for a child. Like, put your politics aside just for a minute and say, we don't agree with it, but there's something more important maybe. I don't know. It just baffles me that this is the response to just refund the donations. However, I don't know if it's just the donations that were offensive or if it was the donations.
Take
all
the
of the
money!
donations, like all the $26,000, was every single message offensive. I doubt it. If that was the case, like, why would they refund all of it? Just refund the ones that were offensive then. It shouldn't be that hard to figure out. You can just go through the live stream. It will take you 2 hours.
Well, there were quite a few.
Ridiculous. This
they could
also
do it.
resulted into Ralph's Retorts channel getting removed, which I hate because why? Again, why? If you ban someone, now I have no idea. Was it because people donated offensive stuff? Was it because something he said was wrong or a guest said was wrong? Why? What was the reason? Now, Super Chat, in my opinion, is a great tool. When I first tested it out, I was one of the first ones that got to try it. I thought this is a great way to actually get money for charity. But since YouTube takes 30% of it, it doesn't really make sense. And I know YouTube is working so that you can donate money directly towards a charity. instead.
That's
and I
what
think
this
if
was,
that
yes.
was the case, that they have that feature, this would be a lot easier. And I think all of this essentially could have been avoided if they just used then Streamlabs, which is similar. It works in a similar way.
Well, we
as
can't use
Super Chat.
Streamlabs,
Just
but
use that instead and disable a super chat. I don't know if there's anyone in particular's fault. I don't think it's the kind of issue where you can just point at one person and go, it's your fault. It's a complicated issue, but ultimately, the result, money that was going to go for cancer research for kids, is gone. That's the end result of all of this, regardless whose fault that is. And that is pretty baffling to say the least. Now, what do you guys think of this? Always passing on the question to you guys. Next news.
All right,
Marcia
all right.
quits YouTube.
Oh, Marcia. Farewell, Marcia. All right. What do you think about? Should we? I don't know. We won't weigh in on Marcia quitting YouTube. What did you think of this segment, gentlemen?
How is this better than most mainstream news organizations?
It unironically, not even joking, was like much better than pretty much any report I've seen on this.
Now you see what I'm talking about. Now you heard it, everybody. It was actually a pretty good show. And it's kind of sad that the whole situation with Wall Street Journal and YouTube, and also the whole situation with Ralph, you know, I don't have a problem with Ralph, but unfortunately Ralph had a problem with everybody else. And it got to the point where, well, it just went crazy. Now, in other news, you may have heard some crazy stuff about NVIDIA's RTX series graphics cards have been surprisingly crashing. They work for only a few minutes, then they crash. Now, a lot of people have been talking about this issue with NVIDIA, and a lot of people are very concerned that either the NVIDIA is not too concerned about reported faulty RTX cards, 280 cards. Now, a lot of people talked about this, that some users who managed to get an NVIDIA RTX 280 Ti Founders Edition claims that the GPUs have critically instability issues that led to black screens, BIOS OSDs, and artifacting. That there are instances where the cards were dead on arrival, and the replacement cards sent by NVIDIA were still affected. NVIDIA stats that this states that this is normal. And this is kind of funny too, because the fact that NVIDIA brought out these new generation graphics cards in hopes to compete against AMD's Vega series cards, this was a response, and they brought them out in order to compete against the Vega series. Now, the Vega series almost stood a chance against their 180, their 180 graphics card series and their TI series as well, and it's subpar to their graphics cards. But the funny thing about this whole thing is that their newest graphics cards are suffering badly. The 280 Ti series, from what I heard, there has been some crashes, and a lot of it is looking into it, and still people are looking into this whole thing. I don't really blame anyone for this, because this is kind of crazy, and at the same time, I'm kind of shocked by this, because a lot of people are talking about this issue, because even my favorite website of all times, Gamer Nexus, also did a live stream, and I kind of thought it was hilarious, because they were like investigating it too on the problems that were caused by this and looking into the problems. I think, in my own theory of this, I believe that this is involving something to do with the memory inside the graphics cards. It's possible, or it's fault that one of the graphics memory is faulty. Now, I don't know if it's that problem, but they probably need to recall all the graphics cards and look at this carefully. Either it's the because as far as I know, it's not overheating as badly. But then again, some people say it is. But the problem that most people are worried about, that they spent all this money, and the graphics cards are not, they're really expensive, especially right now. And the fact that they're selling these cards, and Nvidia isn't really, and it's only a small amount of people complaining about this. Now, looking at it, this card, the RTX series, 80 cards are like $1,000, and that's not bad. But this is only a few minor people that have been encountering this problem, and right now, looking at it, and I'm just reading some of the articles that were talked about, NVIDIA's flagship RTX 280 Ti series. And this doesn't look good for NVIDIA, because right now, this is kind of the response of what's going on. Now, a lot of people are surprised by this. The graphics cards are failing, or are they? Now, a lot of people are trying to look into the investigation of these graphics cards, and they're very decent cards. Mind you, NVIDIA has always been really good. Now, you can see right here, NVIDIA's flagship RTX Ti graphics cards are failing. Just over a week, we reported a seemingly unsettling number of dead and dying NVIDIA RTX cards. Since then, the state of affairs isn't much more clear to try to change that. We reached it out to a number of retailers and system builders and manufacturers to find out what exactly is going on, which cards are failing, and maybe even why they are dying in the first place. For more details, we looked at the 280 Ti, the 2080 Ti. Check out the full review. NVIDIA's response to our original story follow-up coverage was to say that it is working with users individually, but we are not seeing any broader issues. The company refused to give us any information on either sales figures for the 2080 Ti or the failure rates. Now, and at the time we were writing this, and yet to respond to further requests, and this is 2 days ago, guys, ladies and gentlemen, the comments on the story whatsoever, since NVIDIA is only one to sell its own Founders Edition cards, they leave us at a relatively dead end for learning more about those cards in particular. When it comes to AIB partner cards, though, we were more successful. Connor Richards, public relations manager of Overclock UK, told Digital Trends that the unwanted return rate is slightly higher than the 280 Ti, the 2080 Ti, of their card series. The actual faults are very low, though. The average return rate is about 3.5%, with 50% of those returning under the 14-day return policy. The two highest selling cards, Overclocker UK has had in the past couple of years, display similar number, told us the average is 3.35% in return rate, with around 46 being unwanted rather than failed cards. Those numbers suggest that the ABI partner to 2080 Ti cards are as reliable, but not slightly more than most graphics cards. However, those numbers are skewed slightly favorable due to relatively youth of the GPU. One well-established UK-based system builder told us that they had seen 0 failures among the 20 Ti-equipped systems. We are also received tips from several GPU manufacturers on the conditions of the anonymity, that they had experienced no issues with the cards in the 2080 Ti or otherwise. Now let's see here. Henjar Kochana, Co of Gaming, the COO of Gaming PC Builder, Digital Storm, told Digital Trends that they hadn't seen any kind of alarming return rate on the RTX 20 Ti's. And famed overclocker Dudus released a statement, the video of Case King, citing the failure numbers for the thousands of ABI partner TI sold around 1.4%, notably higher than the 0.1% in return for the 2080, but still far from subtle. But from what about Founders Edition cards? Well, with no numbers from NVIDIA when it comes to the Founder Edition cards, all we can do is look in accountable evidence. Threads and comments on NVIDIA forums continue to mount from disgruntled 20 Founder Edition owners. Survey of 70% of the forum members with 2080 Ti cards showed a failure rate of excess of 55%. Wow. The survey from NVIDIA subreddit of over 100 RTX 80 owners found just 2.5% of the cards have failed in comparison. Wow. So what caused the failures? With the numbers from NVIDIA, it's impossible to know how many 2080 Ti's have been sold. Now, this is kind of weird, though, because a lot of people have been talking about this issue. And let's see here. Now, Gamer Nexus has been talking about this, and I do recommend you check out Gamer Nexus because they're really honest when it comes down to the whole issues, and they actually investigate the issues even at the best widespread. Upon testing another FanSent 2080 Ti, Gamer Nexus discovered a bizarre issue with the card's BIOS was locked into frequencies that caused it to crash when overclocking occurred. Now, you're going to see the video here.
Round 1 of Dyn 2080 Ti investigation involves several monitors, we've had more in here, and a stack of video cards. We have an update on the first round of dead, in quotes, RTX 2080 Ti's. The reason that's in quotes is because some of them are legitimately experiencing some kind of hardware level issue, and then some are BSODs, software issues, CTDs, crash of desktop, things like that. So this is the first half or so of the cards that we, actually not even that, that we have coming in. These are the ones that got in today. Ran some validation on a few of them already. Some have definite either BIOS or hardware level issues. Talk about those separately. And then some that are just BSODs, really bad ones though, we've been able to reproduce, but it's very difficult to do so. So we're gonna be talking about specifically the NVIDIA BSOD issue, the blue screen of death on the 20 series cards for today. Before that, this video is brought to you by Thermal Grizzly and their high-end thermal compounds. Thermal Grizzly, link in the description below. So this one is really pretty simple. The blue screen of death, if you're not seeing artifacting, you're not seeing frequency locks like the 1300 megahertz, which we do see on one card, and all you're seeing is a blue screen of death that happens seemingly sporadically. It happens almost definitely when you play games, maybe within the first hour. It is typically associated with high refresh monitors or with G-Sync. This one we've been able to reproduce like once or twice, and that's kind of it. It's really difficult to recreate the issue without everyone's exact hardware configuration. But in reproducing the issue a couple of times and talking with people who have experienced the issue on the cards they've sent in, we've collected enough data to more or less pinpoint this one. So the blue screen of death, the main one you're likely seeing is IRQ not less or equal. And if that's the one you're seeing, that seems to be associated with displays. And so we were able to reproduce this issue once in Shadow of the Tomb Raider with a G-Sync display, specifically, at 60 Hertz. So it's not high refresh, but it is G-Sync. And it's an older G-Sync display. We were not able to get that issue to occur on our 144 Hertz FreeSync monitor, with obviously adaptive sync not doing anything. And we're not able to get it working on our 100 Hertz G-Sync monitor. So, or not working in this instance, where the BSOD was only happening to us with that specific display. So, in talking with other people who have high refresh displays, that is exactly the issue they're seeing, where it's IRQ not less or equal with a high refresh display, often with G-Sync enabled. So if you have high refresh and you have G-Sync, that might be the issue. It might be display dependent. You can validate this by getting another display that you might have in your house already, connect it, and see if the issue goes away. And if it doesn't, I'm not sure if lowering the refresh and disabling G-Sync will fix it, but one of the users who sent in a card did report that that helped them with their problem. So keep that in mind. NVIDIA is aware of this issue. We actually managed to get an NVIDIA driver update from one of the customers who's going through the RMA process, and they were talking to support, who provided them with an NVIDIA driver update. And also one of the other users with a different board got the NVIDIA driver update. And so from one of those two people, we got the new NVIDIA driver. And what that does is it should fix a number of issues, and one of them, I believe, from what we've been told, is supposed to be that IRQ not less or equal. Because we have so much difficulty reproducing that BSOD in general, because we don't have the exact displays causing the issues, it's hard to validate. Because like I said, we've seen it once or twice. We saw it actually, I remembered back in our review of the 2080 and the 2080 Ti, we did see a BSOD also once or twice on the same 60 Hz G-Sync display, but the problem there was when you're reviewing a product, there's so many things that could be wrong. I mean, it could be the OS, it could be the CPU, it could be an overclock issue, it could be software level, it could be a driver, and without the ability to consistently get it to happen, we can't pinpoint anything and call it an NVIDIA fault. So we moved on because it didn't happen anymore. But this is actually the exact same issue that you all are seeing, so apparently it was a much greater deal than we knew it was at the time. But NVIDIA's got a driver update that's supposed to fix a lot of that, and our understanding from NVIDIA directly is that it's supposed to come out this week. So we confirmed that with them, likely from what others, from the fact that the customers are getting the driver already, that should be true. So if you're having a BSOD issue, wait for the driver, that might fix it. There are definitely other problems, like there are hardware level issues. Some people have different BSODs. We got a really specific CTD that's been consistent. It's 100% reproducible, and I'm gonna read you what that message is.
Yeah, I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I forgot to mention. There's been a lot of talk about this 280 Ti thing. And as far as I know, this is pretty much what's going on with the drama with RTX 280 Ti. And as much as I hate, I do like NVIDIA, it's just a shame that, NVIDIA isn't really, trying to address the issue very well, and the marketing and everything is kind of it's kind of sad that the only thing I can tell you guys is wait until they fix the issue, and maybe this would probably, let's just hope that don't buy any more fancy cards yet until NVIDIA fixes the issue. Because it's exactly like how Sony had a problem with the original PlayStation's generation from PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4. Because there were a lot of issues, especially from what I remembered from the hard drive failure to crashes and freezes. Don't buy it until they fix the issues. Same with Xbox. Same with the Xbox 360 and also the new generation of don't buy them out until they fix the issues. Until you hear that it's safe to buy. Don't buy it until it's safe to buy. And if anybody like a reviewer tells you just wait a couple of months, wait at least 3 months and see how you hear from other people who bought it first and said, hey, it's okay, then you can buy it. And that's what I recommend you guys do. If you're buying a product that you feel that is really good, just wait at least either 1 or 2 or 3 months and see if it's worth the money to buy this product. If you feel that, because some hardware can have issues, and I have encountered a lot of issues, especially when I bought the Nintendo Wii, and I saw that there were a lot of issues with it, especially with the 8 gig models, and that's why they no longer sell the 8 gig model, because the 8 gig model had its fair share of issues. And I remembered people explaining to me that the 8 gig model, the only reason why, if it overloads on memory, especially because the 8 gig model, if you save a lot of stuff, it would freeze up the game without a hard drive. And I found out the hard way when I talked to a nice person at Nintendo, who the technical support people. They're very nice people, and I understand that they work hard to make a living, and actually I do respect what they do as a because they were reasonable, and I talked to them about it, and they told me that you need a USB external hard drive, and it worked pretty well, because a lot of it has to do with the fact that if it gets up to 3 megabytes, if it gets up to 3 gigabytes of memory that you have left in it, it overloads it. If you have 8 gigabytes of memory in the Wii U, because I found out the hard way about this, because it freezes up constantly if you overload the saves and everything on that thing when you use the 8 gig models. And I remembered I bought one, and I thought it was a really good system, because it was like the cheapest system out there, and they stuck with the 32 gigabyte models because they can actually put a lot of stuff in there, especially the firmware update takes about like 5 or 6 gigabytes of RAM. And it's kind of sad that Nintendo didn't bother to advance the whole thing, because it was a really okay system. It's just there was a lot of issues with it. Anyways, guys, I will have to say that this is just only one part of the drama. I might make a part 2 series eventually about what happens in the community, because I would talk about a lot of YouTubers and my opinion on them are, but I'm gonna have to go, because I'm gonna reveal some darker shit that's been happening lately with the drama that's been happening, especially within Comicsgate and all this other stuff that's been happening on Tumblr and all this other bullshit. Anyways, guys, leave your comments down below. Even though most people don't really care about this show, it's basically just a fun show that I talk about BS and everything. So I gotta go. Bye-bye.